always says it at 30%, but I think we're good. So, welcome, y'all. Welcome. Thanks for coming. Go ahead and tell me now if the microphone's not working, if it's too hot on y'all's end or anything like that. Because it's brand new. I got tired of people saying we need to have a fundraiser for Goodgame to get a new microphone. So, there it is. Hang on, let me make this thing full screen.
Like we're definitely live. Howdy, folks. How's everybody doing?
But thank y'all for stopping by. Go ahead and get the obligatory stuff out of the way. Like button, subscribe if you haven't. Head over to Ape's channel, another tab if you, for some reason, hadn't. I can't see why you'd be here and not there. Head over there, hit that subscribe button. Him also.
Thank you.
Hit it up. So who we got in the house already? I see we got at least a couple Dons.
The Don Army showed up pretty strong. Oklahoma Ham Radio, Clark, Red Summit.
Red's here. Yeah, y'all, Red, if you're not subbed to Red's channel too, he's putting out some good stuff. So y'all go ahead and head over there and get him. Hey, Nugget, I saw you in there.
Yeah, he's in there. I jumped in there before I joined in this one and just said hey to everybody. Uh-oh, it says Smokey is low on the audio.
So Smokey's low. So is that you can turn it up or do I need to turn it up? Because you're loud for me.
How about that? Is that any better there, Red? Oh, Lordy.
Oh, Lordy. It may be one of my little settings here. Let me...
You turned me down on purpose.
Yeah, well, let's try that. I bet that fixes it. T.O. and I were trying to get this thing going yesterday while you were listening, letting us know how it worked. Oh, it says everything looks good.
How's that? Is that any better there, folk? Can I turn this up? I can't.
Well, I slid the slider over. Apparently I turned the Zoom audio down a little bit. When
yeah, that should be all right. I think everything looks like it's set correctly.
Well, if it's not, they'll let us know, I'm sure.
Well, they're just going to have to turn it up to put it on 11.
So, yeah, it's my new mic. Boom. It's got the little, whatever you call the little fuzzy thing on the front. All right, they say it's better. Yep, YouTube harder. I threw that in my my video with the Padawans on the air. Instead of ham radio, I said hammer radio. I didn't see anybody catch it, but...
Nice.
But all right, so what you been up to, man? Hadn't talked to you in a minute. I'll go ahead and throw it out there. I am in quarantine right now.
Locked down.
I got the cue today. So apparently the word on the street is don't ride in the truck with a dude with the Rona.
Well, we wish you the best of luck over there.
So, well, it's been 6 days, and I think it's the coffee, like you said earlier. You drink enough coffee, you're good.
It keeps you clean.
Keeps you cleaned out anyway. So, but yeah, we'll be. That gives me more time to catch up on some videos. I do want to do a couple quick little. Actually, I think it's just one shout out. Jason Radcliffe watched the stream a couple weeks ago, and I'm assuming he sent me a couple fangs for the Padawans. Thank you for that. But then I got a box with. Oh, that's kind of green screening out, but a breeze.
See, that looks like one of them breeze.
It's the Abri antennas. So I'm guessing that they came straight from Amazon. So I'm not 100% positive, but the odds of getting two fangs and then two Abris the next day from people I didn't know they were coming. Anyway,
you don't know who sent that to you?
This guy named Jay.
I sent it.
Yeah, that was you. So that's your return. That's your return address in Alabama, right?
Right.
Yeah. Red says Cat has the Rona too. So, which we were. Yeah, I guess so. So, I'm glad to not have the Rona and just be kind of just in the quarantine. Only thing that kind of sucks is it may throw a hink in the get up because next week, Ray Novak's coming out to camp. And he camps at the place right here by my house. So we were going to shoot a couple videos and play with a couple radios. And
that sounds like fun.
Some of the nicer radios that, folks like me can't afford to play with most of the time. So I'm hoping that can still go. By the time he gets here, it'll be my 11th day in quarantine.
Well, I think they say that if you've been exposed, it's a 10-day quarantine, right?
Yeah, it's a 10-day quarantine, but schools still make me stay out for 14. But I just can't go back to school for 14. But, my 10 days are up by then. So, but obviously I shot him a message and let him know. And it's like, hey, it's entirely in your court. If you're comfortable with it, if not, then I'm letting you know up front. So, but I'm just telling you now, please, Ray. I want to play with expensive radios and hang. So
Tell them to wear one of them respirator deals.
I'll get me, one of those N95 whatever masks if I have to.
I got a box of them. I wear the N95s everywhere I go. I look ridiculous. Well, more ridiculous than normal, but that's what I do. I wear the N95s.
So, well, my wife was trying to make me a mask yesterday. And because, I got a big old noggin, so it's hard to find a mask that fits right. And so she was making it out of, I don't know what, some cloth stuff. I don't know what it is. Anyway, it looks like a big old piece of underwear on my face, man. I was like, really? I was like, go get me some tighty whities and just hang them upside
down. My daughter started a mask business. So when Corona hit, she said, she was like, Dad, can you buy me a sewing machine? And I'm like, what are you, nuts? And she found one for like $200, and I ordered it. And she's made a couple grand making masks and selling them out. So
does she just make plain masks, or does she like embroider anything on them? Like, can I get one with my call sign, yo?
She doesn't. Well, it's funny you say that because today she asked about me buying her an embroidery machine, but I told her no. The thing was like $500. But like, here's two of them that she's made.
Yeah. Well, see, you told her no. But let's go ahead and throw it out there now. We've got...
Put some ham stuff on there.
We got a few folks in here. Who in here would be willing to... Now, you'd have to set up like a third-party distributor so people didn't get your address. You know how
I've got a third-party distributor in the works for some of the ape stuff. I'm just kidding.
So, hey, if you'd be interested in buying a mask with your call sign or something cool like that from, the daughter of the ape...
Right.
Let them know, man, because, That's an entrepreneur right there. Let her run with it.
We'll see what happens. But she couldn't do her regular job, and so she just came up with that idea, and she's doing pretty well with it.
Sweet. So, yeah, I see. Ape already answered the question. I just ordered a Yeti Nano, so for the microphone, it's one of those USB plug and plays. I didn't want to have to mess with all the buttons and stuff on like a Scarlett or whatever that other stuff is. So.
That Nano is pretty highly regarded, so I'm glad you picked it up. It sounds good.
So, well, thank you. Like I said, it sounded good when I had to film my lessons for the kids today, so that went out well. Speaking of kids, we did that POTA, had that video Monday. That had to be in Little Caesar's term, the extra most bestest club meeting I've ever been to. So, the kids just took over the radio and... Of course, then they're all pumped up for me to come back and do some of that, and I get the cue. I can't go back with them because we were out of school Monday and Tuesday, so today would have been.
You were out of school because you were on lockdown.
No, I was out of school because those are supposed to be fall break days, so we were out of school anyway, and so I just got told. That's what I'm saying. It's been 6 days since I've been anywhere near this dude that gave me the big cue, and.
Yeah.
So, they were kind of getting pumped up and ready. Plus, school club roundups coming next week, which, last I talked to you, I wanted to talk about that a little bit because I have plans to operate that. Well, we'll see how that works out because it's either Thursday or Friday I get to go back.
You taking it? Is the 7300 there or
the 7300 is on a FedEx truck right now. It'll be here Friday.
Okay, so you'll miss that then, right?
So, well, no, it's
next week.
It's next week, but I'll miss most of it. If they let me come back Thursday, I'll at least get a couple days. If it's Friday, I get that one day. So
right.
I'll just throw an antenna up in a tree and see what happens. But
gotcha.
But yep. So what you been up to in the shack over there, man?
Well, last couple of days I've been playing around with that. I think I showed it the last video, that MFJ off-center fed dipole. So I got it put up out back and did some testing on it, and then hooked it up to the little FT8. And it's working pretty well. So the video for that is getting released tomorrow for Thursday Night Ham Radio.
Sweet.
We got 3 videos there, and then I had been playing around with trying to make a choke. Some people call it a balun, but here it is. That see if I can get that without green screening it too much. But
is that the one you sent me a picture of?
Yeah. And this one actually works really well. The last one I made didn't work as well as I wanted to, so I was a little aggravated. And I tried a couple of different designs. And this is 10 wraps of 16 gauge enamel wire, copper enamel wire that I put around a 140-43 toroid, and then the case is a 3D printed case that that I printed out that my buddy Thump, I don't know if he's in here today. He designed it for me, and so I put it together, and it works pretty well. So I'll be incorporating that into the shack in probably the next few weeks.
Sweet. And then you sent me, what's this other thing you sent me a picture of on there?
I think I sent you
a chart, a graph or something, it looks like.
Yeah, the SWR chart.
There it is. Yeah, it's up there now if you want to. I don't know if you have it up because now you can't see it, but they can.
No, I can't. But you can see it's awful impressive.
Yeah, so if you ramble for 30 seconds, you'll see it, but, it's got...
On the, I'm looking at the thing, but no, I tested it out. I used the nano VNA like everybody knows I like to do. There we go. Now that line looks a little steep. It looks steeper than it normally would be, but that's because of the scale on that graph. So up around 10 meters, I think I can't really read it. It looks like it's just at 1.5 or 1.6 maybe. I have to put my glasses on.
Yeah, that looks... I'd have to put... Hang on, I can do the magic zoom.
But that's easily doable by my tuner. So
yes, 10 meters is under 1 point. I don't know what that's going to be.
It looks like I can't read it. It looks like 1.6, give or take.
Either way, it's not bad.
Yeah, so I was happy that one turned out.
So good deal. So folks been asking, Nate, when are you going to get out and do some POTA, man?
You never know. Hadn't really planned on it too much. Most of the time, like we spend a lot of time outdoors, and we spend a lot of time at the parks. Like we like to hike and camp and do fishing and stuff like that, and just we're outdoors people by nature. When I go out, I always take an HT with me, but I don't think my family would be real patient with me if I'm sitting there putting up an antenna and sitting at a table and all that kind of stuff. They like to kind of go out and adventure and those things. So if I'm like, hey, I'm going up to the to the park, they're all like, well, hey, we're going too, and then it becomes more of a family activity where they want to hang out. Well, they're all supportive of my radio activities. None of them are really too interested in it.
So Philip is asking how to send funding to the embroidery machine.
We have her and I need to talk about that embroidery machine.
Now here's the thing. You said she made a couple grand now, so
she did. Now she ain't real good at saving that couple grand. She's always buying all this stuff.
Yeah, that's child units got her job. That's why we went and activated a park again this last weekend, and she got all of 10 contacts because she was working at Chili's, driving to and from and whatnot. So she still got them, but she didn't have the time to do it like she used to. So she's got to work around her work schedule now.
Yeah. So how did all that go?
Dude, that was, I think I ended up with 235, 250 contacts. Just the actual technical term is a buttload of park to parks.
Yeah.
So
well, that you hear a lot of that these days. POTA has gotten to be a huge thing.
It has, and that was the thing when I was showing it to the club folks, were the kids. They were like, "Well, I've never heard of this. What is this?" And they're like, "I didn't. Is it really a big deal?" And as soon as the kids got on the air and the pileup was just an hour and a half long pileup, they were like, "Well, I guess this is a big deal." I'm like, "Yeah, get out of the basement, man, go." So, I think a couple of them went and bought that antenna. That little antenna kit, which is cool because a lot of them had never built an antenna, and Jason's got great instructions on how to put that thing together, so it does well.
Yeah, I'd imagine they'd be pretty excited about it. Do any of those folks have any of the Padawans have HF rigs or?
No, in fact the Padawans that were there this time, Jericho was the only one that's licensed right now. This is the current crop of brand new to radio kids.
Gotcha.
So they haven't had a chance to. We're only about maybe getting close to halfway through the technician material right now. So, but now I'm teaching it by video remotely.
I got you.
So, but yeah, they were excited with it. And this most recent activation we did, I took Jerica's G90. She let me borrow it, even though knew she wouldn't be there for a whole lot of it.
But you had official permission.
I had official permission to borrow it, so don't fuss at me, Uncle Mike.
I know that you borrowed it without official permission once or twice.
Quiet. So, yeah, I sometimes trade gas in her car for permission to use it, kind of thing.
Understood.
So it's a bartering system, but it does remarkably well. I mean, 20 watts. I worked from New Mexico to, I think the farthest east. I had a pipeline into Pennsylvania. I even got Wyoming and South Dakota. I mean, it took me like forever and a day to get South Dakota when I was hunting for it.
Do you adjust the direction of I'm imagining you put that antenna up as a sloper.
Yeah, it's a sloper, and I thought about adjusting the direction the last morning, and I was like, I'll just leave it that way.
Yeah, because that can make a difference.
So, I thought about when you look at it, it was kind of sort of facing almost northish, and but I was doing halfway decent into, like I said, New Mexico, and I mean, normally I get North Carolina and stuff loud and clear, but I was a little noisy with North Carolina and stuff. And then those Texas guys, you always get them loud.
Yeah, well, they're loud people.
Yeah, they talk real loud into the microphone. So, not as loud as y'all over there in Alabama.
Right.
But so what else we got going on, man?
I really think that's it. I gotta move my radios. I've been talking about that for 2 months now, but I bought one of those MFJ window mount things.
Oh, those pass-throughs?
Yeah, it really just looks like it's the best system on the market. I know a lot of people rig stuff up or homebrew a solution, but I wasn't too interested in doing that. It was only about $80, so I picked that up, and then I'll be doing probably this weekend. Doing the install of that, and then I'll be able to move everything. So,
yeah, I wanted one of those. I've got the kind of ghetto version of that. I drilled some holes in a 2x4 and stuck it through that way.
Yeah, that's what I was debating doing. But this has a pass through for the grounding, and it's
those look nice. I'm anxious to see how it actually works out. So
yeah, well, somebody I know who got one. And then they were singing its praises. And then a buddy of mine made his own that looked really nice, but he made it out of aluminum. And I don't have the tools and stuff to do the aluminum work and stuff like that. So Phil says he hopes mine was put together better than his was.
Yeah,
I was worried about that, but mine looked good. It was not cracked wood or anything like that. I heard some people getting boxes of splinters and stuff like that, but mine turned up pretty good.
So looks like Anime's got some questions about. I'm gonna have to scroll back up and see what she's talking about. Looks like
she's asking about inspections. Can they just come into her yard and have a license associated with a travel trailer and a storage unit? This is what's interesting. I had read an article recently that by becoming a licensed amateur radio operator, you give up your right to search and seizure. What is that? The Fourth Amendment? You're a teacher, right? Because you're making an agreement by being a station owner that the FCC can come at any time unannounced without a warrant and do a visual inspection of your station. So
yeah, well, I don't see them.
I don't
doing
either.
A whole lot of those,
but it's interesting.
So I can see if you're being a bad person, them using that as a backdoor for something else, but
yeah,
you never know. So
well, if they come here, I'm going to be like, hey, can we get this on tape? I'm an emerging YouTube channel.
Yeah, I'm gonna go ahead. I'm going to stream this one live, buddy.
Yeah, do you guys mind? You mind if I can interview them on air? And
I'm not even going to ask if they mind. I mean, they're at my house. I can record what I want at my house. So, yep. So, trivia night's coming up.
Yeah,
so,
I should pull up that schedule and see what's going on. But it's Friday, right?
Yeah, it's Friday, which I guess if there is any good news about me being quarantined is I can now make trivia night. So I wasn't going to be able to make it. So
yeah, so we tomorrow's Thursday Night Ham Radio. We only have three videos on the lineup right now. So we're trying to get some more in there, but I don't think it's going to happen. And then Kyle's got his trivia night on Friday night, so that should be pretty exciting.
And then it's not too awful long till that big night we've got coming up. Where there are 13 of us.
Yeah, let me count them up real quick. That's 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. Yeah, it looks like 12 folks lined up for November 2nd, which is going to be antenna night. So you'll get to see 12 different videos. We're trying to keep them to 15 minutes each, but different videos on antennas by everybody in the YouTubers bunch. So that's pretty exciting stuff.
Yeah, and it's anything goes antennas. It's as long as it relates to antennas, it's fair game. So
yep, got to be antennas.
So I'm going to try to tune up a goat and see if it'll transmit. We'll see.
Yeah, that would technically be under the rules.
So well, and that G90 will tune just about anything. So it might just tune the goat.
Yeah, the tuner in that thing is impressive.
Hang on, I got to fill up again.
No worries. Let's see. We got neighbors complaining that their TV is messing up. That can happen. I blew out my Christmas lights once, and then I blew out my RFI, whatever that thing is, protection unit on the backyard once. But haven't had any problems too much lately. So we'll see what happens.
Yeah, well, every Christmas Josh tries to intentionally blow up his Christmas lights. So.
Well, it was funny because my wife was like, "I need you to go turn on the Christmas light," so I did, and then I came upstairs and I started using the radio, and it for whatever reason blew a fuse or popped the circuit, and the lights were out, and then she's like, "I thought you would turn those lights on." I look out there and I'm like, "Well, who unplugged them?" It turned into one of those kind of scenarios.
Yeah, let's see what they're talking about. Yep, Philip's excited about antenna night. So am I. I mean, I'm anxious to see what everybody's got coming. Josh had said something about maybe doing a video on an antenna, but I don't think he can get it to fit under 15 minutes. So,
well, if he goes first, then we could probably squeeze it in. But I know that Frank really wanted to go first. He said he wanted to kick it off because I didn't even know Frank had an antenna or not. But
apparently he's got one now. So, which that reminds me, if you're not subbed to Tank Radio, look him up. Make sure you sub Frank the Tank. Ishmael says he's going to try to buy a 7300. Ishmael, you've got like 27 radios or something from last I counted. From what I don't remember all the radios you've said you've got, but
Goodgame keeps an inventory on everybody, just for the record.
So, oh yeah, got to have inventory.
And they're making fun of Jason again for his DX Commander in a box. He's actually working on a new system to be able to use it in the box. That way he never has to.
He doesn't ever have to take it out of the box. You just throw the box on the roof and
hook the coax right up on the back of that box. And
good strategy there. So, where's OHR saying you learned about those toroids?
Yeah, that would be where you learned about those toroids. Yeah, sure. It is. That was one of them. And another one was, and this was a stand moment for me. I was using the radio, and then all of a sudden, my SWR is going crazy. My noise floor goes through the roof, and I can't figure out what's going on. And then all of a sudden, it just cleared up and it went away. And then, like 15 minutes later, it started up again. I'm like, "What the?" It turned out my wife was plugging her iPhone in and charging. Oh, it was her iWatch. It was her iWatch that she was charging. And for whatever reason, that thing was drowning me out. So we had to move it to another room.
Yeah, it's amazing stuff that creates a bunch of noise. There was the LED lights on the camper. My wife went in and turned on the lights in the camper, and it was nighttime, and all of a sudden, yeah, the noise floor is like S8, S9, and out there in the park, I'm normally sitting at S1, maybe. I mean, it's nice and quiet, and it's like, and that little band scope on that thing's just got like waves going across it. It's like, oh Lord.
Yeah, well, I can hear the washing machine. So when my wife turns the laundry machine on, I can hear it and I can see it on my waterfall. And then I got to wait until it's done.
So Ishmael says he doesn't have 27 rigs. He's just got 2, his Baofeng and his Kenwood dual band. I thought he had said he had an HF rig already.
I thought he was getting a box of stuff.
So I don't remember. So I'm a little old, so me being able to remember things that far away. Don Izzo says boxes on the air.
You're probably thinking of the other Ishmael.
Oh yeah, that other one. Yeah,
right.
They call me Ishmael.
Right. And then Clark saying he wishes he had 27 rigs.
So I've got counting all the Padawan fangs and stuff like that. I'm getting close to that now. I got granted 12 or 13 are in kids' hands right now. So
Yeah, Brett said that Josh had the same problem with his wife's cell phone.
So yeah, well, Josh just gets in trouble because he just unplugs the phone.
Well, it's always something, right? Like you'll be sitting there working fine, and then all of a sudden there's some kind of interference that's coming in, driving you crazy.
I mean, it's amazing. Some of these RVs are just loud. Anime got it. That's a great book. Yep. I wondered who'd get that. They Call Me Ishmael.
Yeah, I don't know.
So,
I don't know that book.
No, they don't. They don't teach that in Alabama.
No, I don't read fiction.
So. You'd have probably read this one in high school or something. So, about a big whale.
Oh yeah, maybe.
So, but
I just earlier tonight had a Zoom reunion with a bunch of my high school buddies. Hadn't seen some of them in 20 years. It was pretty cool.
Yeah, I'll leave that. I'll leave that to you. I went to high school in Southern California.
Well, these were all buddies that I used to hang out with all the time. It wasn't like a class thing. So one of the guys was like, "Hey, y'all want to get together?" I was like, "All right."
Have a few virtual gold medal winners.
Yep, pretty much.
I got a buddy that just watched the. In fact, I think it was the first one that we ever did. First one of these you and I shows where I handed you the Miller Lite and you had the coffee.
Yeah.
He just caught up on that. And he texted me at like 11:30 at night. He's like, "Dude, I just saw that." I'm like, "Man, that's been a minute."
He's like, "Who's that idiot with the Miller Lite?"
So.
This is number 6, I think, right?
I think so. I think it's 6 or maybe 7. It's been a minute. So Philip's got one rig loaned out. Whatever. And
he's got an NX5 in storage.
NX5.
I don't even know what an NX5 is.
It's an NCX5. It's them reading skills, son.
Well, I need my glasses. That's one thing's going up on me. I got my window all minimized, all small, so I can see you in the Zoom. Make sure you're not up to something.
You got to be able to see that shine.
Yeah.
Shined it up just for you today.
Yeah. A little turtle wax.
Yeah, I had to wash all the Rona off, you know.
Yeah. Did you take the radio in the shower with you, or?
No, not this time. Although, you know, that IC92 that Izzo sent, gosh, it's been a month or two ago now.
I like that radio.
It says it's submersible. So, you know, I may have to test it just to see. Mm-hmm. Just because I know how much you liked that video of me showering with my radio.
I thought that was the funniest thing ever.
And in fact, that's one radio that's still here in the shack. It's right down there.
Yeah, mine's sitting in the other room.
Be my luck, I'll check it out to a kid and they'll, you know, Google up something about the radio and see me in the shower. That would be weird.
I had a laptop that I had been using a long time ago, and it was on Brandmeister's Last Heard. I had a webpage on that, and so I fired up the laptop because I needed to get something off of it, and I just left it open and sitting there running in the other room, or the other side of the room, and I was working, and I could hear somebody talking on the radio, and my 2 hand HTs that are sitting here are off. I'm like, what the hell is that noise? Like, where's it coming from? It turned out I forgot that the webpage was open to Last Heard, so it just kicked on.
Let's see, what's the strongest handy Talkie? She already broke her. What do you mean by strongest, Anime? You talking about just, you know, ability to not be broken? So
the B-Tech DMR 6X2.
I'm say that thing is a tank. It's heavy.
Yeah.
But it's a tank, you know. It's Jerica's got one, and I've got one of the Anytone flavors of the same thing. And it's heavy, but it's a tank. I mean, it's honestly, it feels a lot like the Tate radios they issue for the fire department. And
yeah, the Yaesu FT60 is a little bit of a tank in itself. I think it's got a mostly aluminum chassis. They're about $150 though, and it comes with that nickel metal hydride battery. I really like that radio, and I've had it for a long time, but I'd have a hard time telling somebody to buy one, to be honest with you, just because its feature set's a little old. Sounds great though, but for the same amount of money, you get a lot more features.
Too bad Nokia doesn't make an HT. Yeah, you're right. Nokia made the beast of a cell phone back in the day. That old Icom that Izzo sent me feels like it would be kind of. I mean, I hadn't torn it up yet, but you know, kids have messed with it trying to catch satellite signals and stuff like that, and it feels sturdy. I don't know.
Oh yeah, HD1's a brute. Philip's right about that. That HD1 is like a piece of concrete.
See, but you have to balance piece of concrete versus do you really want it hanging on your belt? I mean, I've got other things I put on my belt that weigh it down. I don't want my pants to fall down.
Yeah, to be on the ground. Red Summit says that TX500 is a super rugged HF portable rig. I'm curious as if Red's going to pick that thing up yet. You've seen it, right?
Yeah, he says he wants one, and I wouldn't mind playing with it just to see if it, I'd feel a lot more comfortable kayaking out to the island with something that claims to be waterproof.
Well, it's water resistant. It doesn't claim to be waterproof.
And as long as it can take, it would be in a dry bag anyway, so.
Yeah, that's what a lot of people say about it. I am pretty impressed with that radio. It doesn't have a lot of fancy things that you'll see on a 705 or something like that, but I like it. I like it a lot.
Now, what's the cost on that guy? I don't remember what the.
I think it's just under $800. So with tax, you're probably looking around $840, something like that.
So
it's not cheap, right? I mean, it's
not cheap, and I don't remember. Josh did a couple videos on it, but
he did 2 of them.
So you gotta lug around, which I guess for the 705 you'd have to have it. It comes with that little battery pack on there, but you'd want a real battery to opt for any kind of time.
What's interesting about the TX500 is that it is the lowest current draw HF radio at that wattage, and then also while it's sitting idle is my understanding. So you get a lot of battery life out of it. So you could probably get yourself a 12-volt lithium-ion battery, like a cell phone charging battery, like one of those little bricks or something like that.
Yeah.
And then get some pretty decent runtime on it. I think it's a pretty impressive radio. And a lot of people talk about the 705 and the 500. So here's where I'll probably show my ignorance. By them not having tuners, right? And they're like, they don't have tuners. I need a tuner. And da-da-da. Tuners are fantastic, but they introduce insertion loss into your transmission line system, your antenna system. And when you're talking about a QRP rig, or I guess they call these QRP pluses because they go up to 10 watts.
Yeah.
You really start filtering your power out with a tuner. So I don't know. My impression on it is that just build yourself a resonant dipole, NFET half wave or something like that. Even with an NFET half wave, you're still using a matching network, right? With your 49-to-1 transformer, and you're inserting loss there as well. When you talk about 10 watts, that loss insertion can be a problem for you. So
it's a significant percentage of
what
you get out.
Just use resonant antennas and forget the tuner.
Get you a link dipole and go from
there.
Have
at it.
You got 20 and 40 or whatever, want, or more, I guess, depending how many links you want to throw in there.
Yeah.
So Red says he's never used a tuner in the field. And this last activation that we did, we used that NFET half wave again. And even when I hit the tune button, it didn't really tune anything. Although I will say that G90 tuned up that NFET half wave on 80, even though it's not supposed to. Well, I guess the tuner will. That tuner will tune up just about anything, like we said. So
yeah.
But I actually got enough out to actually check into a net that I don't ever check into.
Yeah, 741 has made an appearance.
So, greetings. If you're not subbed to 741's channel, head on over. He's got a collection of different kinds of stuff he does.
Wingnut says he doesn't even own a tuner. No,
that's not Wingnut, dude. That's Nugget. That's Nugget.
Wing Nugget.
That's Nugget.
I like Wingnut. I like Wingnut a little bit.
And Nugget threw down a POTA activation at the same time. His looked a lot colder. He posted some pictures. I forget where I saw those. Maybe my Discord or something. But he posted up some pictures in there, and he was like having to wear a coat. I was in like shorts and flip flops. So
where is Wing Nugget?
Some reason I'm thinking it was a Michigan place. Nugget, you up in Michigan somewhere? I'll have to give him 30 seconds to answer because I don't know how to turn down. I don't know how to turn down the delay.
Philip says his G90 will tune stuff that his MFJ 939 won't. So what's funny about that is that some folks were saying that the G90 was lying, that the Chinese built it so to fool people into thinking that that it was tuning up stuff because it was tuned stuff that were seemingly impossible to tune.
So all I know is I set it
at magic.
I set it at 3862, and I was actually able to check into it's like a statewide 80 meter net that they do, and I'm not sure why they do it, but they do it every day. And so I was like, well, I'm curious if it would or not, and I was able to check into it. So, and I think Home Slice that runs that net's down on the coast somewhere, so he's 350 miles away or something.
Well, Wing Nugget says he's at Mackinac Bridge, so I'm assuming that's at Mackinac Island. I think the only way you can get there is, I thought you could only get there via boat. It's a beautiful place. It's a very popular camping place.
It's right across the street from where you live, isn't it?
It is. So I try to get over there a couple times a year, throw a hammock up in the trees, relax a little bit.
So that's his vacation house, his summer home.
Right.
So Ape's got all that money,
Rolling in it.
Rolling. So, yeah, Nugget says it was 50-ish degrees out there. Yep, it was. I think I was in the low 80s, high 70s for mine. It was a nice trip. I would have kayaked out to the island this time, but, well, didn't quite get there.
Well, if I remember correctly, you kind of were talking tough, right? You were saying that you were going to go out in the kayak.
Well, we were, and I don't have a rack for the kayaks yet on the truck. And even though this is close to the house, I was just going to kind of hang them out the back of the truck and the camper behind me.
Redneck style,
yeah,
right?
Well, it's it's right up the road a bit, but my kayak's a 12-footer, and it gets a little close to the front of the camper. But it actually worked out well because the dude camping about 3 spots down has essentially the same truck, and so I scoped out how he carries his kayaks and stuff. And
so now you got some ideas.
It's a Rhino rack. I'm sure they're a couple bucks for that Rhino rack, but
my buddy went crazy bass fishing and started getting into the kayak bass fishing. And then he bought a little trailer from Harbor Freight and built a custom kayak toting machine.
Yeah, see, that's what a buddy of mine said. He's like, yeah, just tow a trailer behind your camper, and I'd be like
you're like a train.
A train. I'd be like, choo choo. And I was like,
I don't know about that.
Good luck trying to back that bad boy up anywhere. Just got to think reverse and then reverse again. I'm not sure how that would work. So, but I'm hoping. 741 says he wants to do a kayak activation. I think I've about talked Jerica into kayaking out there. She's not real big on the kayak thing. She'll get on it, but I think I've about talked her into leaving Mama on the shore and she and I going out there together to do it. So that's the other reason I kind of didn't want to hit it right then, because I'd really like to activate that one with Jerica. So it's kind of like those firsts we want to do. So
that'd be fun.
Yep, and I am going to get on some POTA stuff under quarantine. As long as I don't get close to folks. So that should be fun. So Izzo, I know Izzo's big into the POTA thing. Make sure you watch the spots and whatnot. So let's see. All I have is a 16. Yeah, you're right. I had a 15. I think it was a 15-foot canoe or something like that. Oh, no, I think it was a 16-foot 8 or something like that, Red. And it's I could pick it up and put it on my old truck's ladder rack, but
no ladder rack on the new truck, right?
No, there's no ladder rack on the new truck. So, and I can't really put it with that motorized tonneau cover thing. So
can't you stick it in the in the camper? Well, you can't finagle it in there.
Not the 12-footer. I could stick Cindy's 10-footer in there, but the 12-footer. And I offered to take a wall out for it, and
you could just duct tape it to the side, right?
She said, "Well," and that was the other thing. I'm like, I could zip tie it up to the top to the air conditioner, and I didn't get the spousal approval for that either. So I'm not sure what's up with that.
Well, we have a little pop-up camper. And we only got it under the condition that I got the air conditioning unit on the top of it. So they tend to be protective of that air conditioning unit.
Yeah, you got to hang on to the air conditioner now. So even though it got cool enough all this time, but you go in the summer, especially a pop-up. How well does that air work in that pop-up?
It works really well. I was surprised. So one of the things is we're usually in the trees, right? So there's no direct sun hitting the camper. So if there's direct sun hitting it, I think I might have a little bit of an issue. But we went in 102-degree weather and had the AC kicking, and we were fine. So it probably brought it down to mid-70s, something like that.
Yeah.
And then I've got it's also got a furnace in there. So in the wintertime, we've gone in the pop-up, and we're fine in the wintertime too.
Yeah, we're going to try a little winter camping this time around. So, although from what I understand, that the furnace that's in there will just cook you out of there. So I just bought a little space heater I'm going to throw in there and try with that one.
It's tight fit in the pop-up though. There's not a lot of space in there. It I don't know the exact dimensions of it, but it's got 2 queen beds on either side that pop out. And then you can convert like the eating area into like a twin or a single or something like that. But we never do that.
Yeah, they say you can convert our eating area to a sleeping area, and I would hate to be the poor soul that has to try to fit on that.
Well, I do a lot of hammock camping. So that's where I was like, if we ran out of space in there, I'll just put a hammock up outside, and then y'all stay inside.
That's your chance to POTA, man. You're outside anyway.
Right.
You just need one of those little bitty radios to hold it in your lap and talk. The Love Shack.
So maybe I'll get the maybe I'll get that TX 500 and take that POTA in with the camper. Who knows?
There you go. So let's see. Got a few other people popped in. OHR, and I used to go camping in 0-degree Fahrenheit weather. Yeah, well, glad you did that. Not me.
I've done it. I've gone out and slept in a hammock in below freezing more than once. It's an experience.
I saw. Is it Red? Somebody's got a video coming up about activating Mount Baldy as a summit in California. It's got to be Red, or maybe it's Adam or somebody. But I used to camp on Mount Baldy with my dad, so that I'm gonna watch that video, and if for no other reason than I used to go there, I can say, yep, I've been there. But
look, kids,
look,
your old man slept on that mountain.
Yeah, I was right there on that rock, Sonny. So OHR says he was young and it was Nebraska. So nope, it mustn't be Red. There's no Baldy in Arizona. So
yeah, well, Red's actually got a video coming out tomorrow for Thursday Night Ham Radio, and then he's featured in another video by a fella. Let me pull up his call sign so I don't get it wrong. N1CLC, I believe his name's Christian. He's another one of them soda types, and I believe. Oh, that's Monday that he's doing that. Never mind. Scratch that. I'm talking crazy again.
So who do we have tomorrow? Go ahead and kind of read through it. Let's see who we got tomorrow. It's
Red Summit. He's kicking things off at 5 Central, and then me at 5:30 Central, and then Jason's jumping in at 6 o'clock Central. So it's just 3 of us.
So short and sweet.
Now you had said you might have a video,
and I may still. I've actually got to make a video for school tomorrow. I normally run that sideline streaming stuff, and
right.
I'm under quarantine, and I'm the only one that knows how to set all that mess up. So I'm going to have to make a video of how to connect all 846 wires to make the thing work, and hope that the assistant principal that's going to try to run the system for me can actually run it. So
good luck with that, brother.
Yeah, we'll see how that. Well, I'm making the video either way. They won't let me. I even offered to sneak on campus in the middle of the day when everybody was in class and stuff.
No.
And I was going to set it up and spray everything down with sanitizer and then just leave before anybody got there. And they're like, nope, that can't happen either.
Well, they're probably worried about you infestering somebody, and then lawsuit starting up. Yep, Rob's getting paid. See you, buddy.
So, yep.
But they're probably worried about you wrecking havoc over there.
Yeah, well, they weren't all that worried about the dude who rode in the truck for an hour and a half with me.
But if you've got all the where's the gear?
In the back of my truck right now.
So how are they going to get that?
Ding, ding, ding. I'm going to have to meet him somewhere. And I guess I'll set it in the parking lot and drive 30 feet away and let him pick it up.
Wow.
And I'm just going to record the thing and I'm going to post it to my YouTube channel just as a unlisted stream or an unlisted video and just give him the link to it because that way he can watch it on his phone while he's trying to set it up.
You'll be like, this here's the connecting wires.
I'm going to kind of do it that way too because there's all the wires are black except for one, so it's got. I'm going to be like, all right, so you connect the black wire from here to here, and he's going to be like, they're all black. It's like,
that's awesome.
It's like, yeah,
so you're saying you might still have one up for tomorrow night's lineup?
I might still. We'll see how this thing goes tomorrow morning, getting that made, and how the handoff of the equipment goes. So I'm hoping to have one made. I've got a few of them in various stages of being done. So
yeah, I'm not good about that. You know, I if I have a couple irons in the fire, I never get anything done because I'm, you know, constantly worried about this or worried about that. So I try to just do them sequentially, but that can be a little bit of an issue too.
yeah, I'm hoping to play a little catch up with this quarantine thing. So I can't go anywhere except, you know, to the park.
Good luck with it.
Go to the park and play and whatnot. And so, yeah, like Clark said, don't forget to hit that thumbs up and sub if you're not already subbed, and head over to Ape and sub there, and sub Red and whoever else is in here. 741.
Yeah, we should start guilting Izzo. He was talking a little bit about starting a YouTube channel.
The Izzo was talking about starting one up. I think
he needs a chip chop.
I think he would have an instant following too. Izzo is kind of famous in his own right there.
Yeah, I owe him an email. We talked on the phone about a week ago, and he was killing me. He was so funny. I definitely would be interested in seeing his POTA adventures.
Yeah, and he's a great dude too. So, you know, he has done a bunch to help support the Padawans and whatnot. So, like I said, that IC-92 that they try to catch satellite stuff with came from him, and some other stuff. So,
you get that satellite antenna put together yet, or?
Yeah, it's behind the magic black logo back there.
Is that what you were using to chase the birds? Or?
No, I was using the tape measure Yagi at school, partly because I want them to see that stuff that they build they can actually use. So even though they didn't build that one, it's something we're going to build this year. And so, it's not just a worthless project. It's something they can actually use and do something with. So
I watch the forums a lot, in the Discord, like in the main HRCC's ham radio. And every now and then you get somebody comes along and they'll say, you know, I'm thinking about building a tape measure Yagi because I want to do. And then immediately everybody's like, oh, you don't want to do that, the matching network. You want to build a log periodic to get the log periodic. But at the same time, if somebody comes along and says, hey, I'm thinking about building a log periodic, everybody's going to jump on and be like, dude, the tape measure Yagi's the easiest thing in the world to build. You need to do that.
Yep, and it's cheap, man. I mean, you got like 72 cents a PVC pipe. Tape measure you can probably get for free from Harbor Freight. Couple chunks of wire and some coax, man. It's not much to it.
Yeah, that I'd like to build one. I haven't, but I'd like to do that.
This one that the one that we used, I actually built. Jerica helped me build it. It was it's been a few years ago at one of the field days for the club, in fact, the same folks that we did the POTA activation with. That was one of their things. They had like a build day coming in. We're going to build something to try to get people to come in for field day. And Jerica did most of that building there, so it's not too tough. She was only in 4th or 5th grade at the time, so
nice.
But let's see, I lead a tape measure, build easy peasy. Yeah, they're easy, and like I said, I like the Padawans to see that it's not just, you know, some classes you go and you'd have to do a project and it's just. There's no use to it. It's like, okay, well, I've now presented my project on whatever the book is. At least this is
a tape measure, and I should have kept it. So my wife was like, "Hey, I need to borrow the tape measure," and I gave it to her, and I was like,
"It's gone.
You know, don't break it. That's the only thing is don't break it." Sure enough, she came inside, and it's like a 30-foot tape measure, and she had pulled it somehow out of the went 30 feet and yanked it some more, and then
she wanted 31. Yeah.
Yeah. So I'm like, what the hell? And then I was thinking, you know, I should just open it up. It should be easy enough to fix. And so I opened it up and pew, you know, springs and everything going everywhere. It ended up in the trash.
If you need a tape measure, I'll mail you a tape measure. I've got a few of them in the box at my feet.
Well, let's wait until the quarantine's over.
So I'll sanitize it. I'll put it in the box and spray it down. I
spray it with some Lysol or something like that.
Yeah, I got some Dollar Tree disinfectant the other day, man.
There you go.
So I'm sure it works just as well. So. Alrighty. Well, I think that's, unless you got anything else. What you got? Anything?
I don't. I think we covered all the topics that we had laid out, right?
Yeah, let's see. We got Trivia Night Friday. Make sure,
yep.
If you're not already, that's on Kyle's channel, AA0Z. Head over there and make sure you click that sub button and the bell so you can make sure you don't miss it.
You got to ring that bell.
You got to ring the bell. Ding, ding. Let's see. We got Antenna Night on the 2nd. So T.O. finally shows up. But I got contact with a bunch of the YouTubers at this activation. I got T.O., I got his child, Astro Leah. I got Adam in there. I have to go back through and look. Bill Crow, who's normally in here, I got him.
Barely hear you.
Yeah.
I thought I was going to get found out because I was actually calling you back. So I was.
Oh man, it was close. I couldn't. There were some times that the static crashes were so rough that, I mean, some of these RVs are just ridiculously loud. That somebody pulls in and hooks up, and next thing you know, it's like, gee, appreciate that.
Yeah.
Go over there and cut their wire. So, but yeah, got a bunch of good stuff coming up. So don't forget Thursday night ham radio tomorrow. T.O.'s got the playlist. So head over to the Casa de T.O. Oh, there it is.
Yeah, it should be fun, right?
Should be fun, and then Trivia Friday, and Sterling's got his stream coming up in about 10 minutes. So,
oh, he does he?
He does,
right.
Yeah. Sterling's now. I got to get used to that, which works out well. Sterling is the IARU Youth Liaison, whatever the official title is that I never do remember.
Yeah, we talked about that in his mall glamour shot picture.
Yeah.
In the ARL.
So head over there and give Sterling's channel a bit of love. If you're not subbed to him, make sure you go ahead and click it.
I'm going downstairs and eating me some chicken. I got some barbecue chicken left over. So
I ate some kind of weird nacho cheese dip my wife came up with. It's like, I'm not sure all the cheeses that went in it, but I'm sure I'll feel it later. So I shall live to regret that.
Yeah, probably.
All right, so appreciate it.
Thanks for having me. Thanks for watching,
always,
everybody.
Y'all head over to Sterling's house. There's the link, and we'll see y'all later. Y'all take care. 7-3.